Hi guys, this is Breaker and I'm back with another replay. Not necessarily, I guess you could consider a part of my daily, but this one I took from the front page of drop.sc. It's got the names of two players that I'm not entirely familiar with, so I'm entirely open to casting this because I simply don't know anything about either of our players. In the upper right hand corner, spawning is our red Protoss. His name is simply but subtly Coldflame. I really like this. Kind of takes my imagination back to when I was a child playing The Legend of Zelda and, just running into the blue flames in that icy environment. No, it was Zelda Ocarina of Time. Yes. Lower left-hand corner, spawning is our blue Zerg. His name is EliteQQVirus. I've got some suspicion as to who it could be. Perhaps he's friends with another guy by the name of BlinkQQ. Let me go and write that out like this. BlinkQQ. Like this, yeah. Sure, it looks like I'm typing this out, but I'm actually not in-game. Don't be fooled, guys. This is actually a replay. I'm just taking away the timer because I don't want that element of surprise to be taken away. Really nice overlay to work with. I want to thank the guys at SC2 Mapster for making it. It's really nice. Excuse me. Got a little bit of dialogue here. I'm almost tempted to shut it off. But, everything looks pretty standard so far. And it looks like Coldflame's going with a single gateway, a single gas right now. And I want to say if he's gonna go with this opener straight into Nexus, I would say that would be relatively brave. It would be something new. But whoa, what is this? Another pylon going down as well? Interesting. Not entirely sure what that's all about, but it's something that has me a little xenophobic, sort of. It's like, whoa, this is the new age of Protoss. Keep it away from me. I don't want anything to do with that, man. No. And we do, of course, have Coldflame's probe going out here, seeing that there's no creep, and just logically deducting that there is no Zerg there. Kind of unfair, guys. Come on, you guys get faster scouting time than we do. Well, then again, we do have overlords. If we so opted to, we could actually send out a drone to scout your position. Of course, let's see here. Coldflame. I'm gonna send his probe over here and find out that there is a hatch in production here. And spawning pool is already finished. No gas yet for our Zerg. So that's kind of indicating that we're gonna have a third in the near future. I'm just a little curious as to when it's going to go down, and it looks like my SC2 client just caught a little bit of lag. Alright, and it looks like the Lings are going to kind of take down this probe. Not a guaranteed kill yet. If it stays on creep, it will be. But I'm thinking, the Lings are going to chase this down without any trouble. Question is it going to see the most important part? The most important piece of information, which would be scouting the third. Looks like perhaps not. Boy, and the Lings are hot on this probe's tail. Are they gonna get it? Are they gonna get it? Are they gonna get it? Oh boy! It looks like yes, they will. And the Lings are not entirely fooled here. This is actually just, I want to say it's amazing how both players can keep their eyes on the minimap. GM level play. And even a simple diamond player can't. A simple diamond player like me couldn't keep up with this. Overlord's going in both directions, and we just have essentially EliteQQVirus. I'm just gonna call him Virus from now on. Essentially, he reads into this really well by logical deduction. He knows where his opponent's natural is gonna be. Of course, he did send the Ling there and sacked it just to verify. All for verification purposes. There we have it. Third is about to finish up for Virus, and if we check the saturation right now, it's 26 drones, 24 probes. And once that third hatch gets finished, production's going to kind of skyrocket, but that's what the Zealot and the Stalker are both here for. They're actually here to essentially slow down production, force some Lings to get cranked out. There we go. But I think it's just a little bit risky how we see, essentially, we saw Virus wait for the Zealot and the Stalker to finish being made to actually start cranking out any Lings. I mean, it's going to be dangerous enough. But here we go. Double Queens coming to the third, to the assistance of the third. Going to take very good care of it. But wow, that's a yellow HP third. I'm wondering if perhaps this could lead into some other early-ish pressure from our Protoss. We already see that +1 ground weapons are on the way. Mothership Core arrives to the party as well, and it looks like, whoa, we're going to have some forward pressure. Oh yes, we will. The only question is, will Virus be able to read into this and hold off against it? There's 3 gateways, that's it. So he just has to be able to produce a significant number of Zerglings to deal with the problem. Does he see that pylon? He does, yes. So he knows that this is not some kind of a feigning pressure. And he's gonna kind of, I guess you could say, force Coldflame to deal with it. This is kind of, I don't want to say abusing, but he's already forced Coldflame to almost build a nexus worth of minerals at the natural to essentially deal with this Zergling threat, this mild Zergling threat. And speaking of Zerglings, there are now 13 in production, 2 Spine Crawlers as well. Double Queen right here. I don't think this is going to be too serious, but this is definitely going to cause some damage, at the very least economically speaking. There we go. A few drones have already fallen. They were idle, and it looks like these drones, oh no, these drones are actually in danger of disappearing as well. This is actually danger in quite a few formats. We're not going to see the game end here. We might see the hatch fall. But I'm thinking that altogether, the Lings, they're chasing down the Zealot, or they're chasing down the Stalkers, but the thing is, the most basic unit that they're going to have to deal with, and they will have trouble dealing with it, would be the Zealots. The Mothership Core's almost got enough energy on it to do a recall relatively soon. And there are now a good deal of roaches in production. But the most annoying thing about the Mothership Core is the amount of damage it does. It's like mosquitoes to cows, almost, with the number of roaches that we see here. The time warp going down to basically allow those Zealots to escape, and we see a third going down behind us. In the words of Axel Toss, early thirds versus Zerg, they're extremely powerful. They're really good. Now we see that Coldflame is getting ready to put on, I think, a little bit more pressure, just as we see his army is essentially retreating here. If these Zealots can be stopped right here and right now, that'd be a huge blow to the main army of Coldflame. And will that happen? Let's find out. Looks like 1, 2 Zealots fall. No, 1.5 Zealots fall. Oh, but these ones. What about these ones? 1 for 1. A Zealot can take on a Roach without micro, assuming that the Roach is not being microed. So now we actually see Coldflame's in a bit of trouble here, but he actually, I don't know, I'm thinking his third's going to be just fine. We actually don't have our Zerg compelled to scout that at all. He's just like, what the hell was that, bro? I mean, did you really just try that against me? But that was one of the more expensive units that we've seen Coldflame lose. And examining the losses, speaking of lose, we see that it's just a little bit more in the way of resources that we've seen Virus lose. Of course, sentries, if you don't want to lose them, you don't. If you have an opportunity to keep them alive, then, just don't lose them. Hang on, let's see here. Looks like some Lings coming by here just to make sure there's a third. I can see it. And there's a pylon over here. Sneaky, aren't we, little probe? Yes, we are. Alright. Quite the buddy we are today. Hydraless Den now in the mix here. I'm thinking, like, perhaps, something did just get canceled a minute ago, but I'm not tempted to go back in the replay just yet. 4-base Zerg. I want to say, just from what we've seen from Coldflame, he's doing something that's extremely high-level play. There's no other way to say it. I mean, he only had 3 gateways. He was not aiming to end the game with the 3 gateways that he had. And this is just something that, I myself could not think of. I mean, if I was to switch to Protoss, there was no way I could think of doing something like that. I'm just, no way. Ling's trying to conduct a run by here, kind of failed, but they're going to try and cut off any probes that try and move out there. That's a lot of cannons, by the way. 5 of them. They could be put to, say, more mobile damage inflicting units. And an interesting follow-up, but not unanticipated. I forgot to read into the Twilight Council, but of course we do have a Dark Shrine on the way. That will be very useful in preventing the 4th. And the 3rd, perhaps not so much. There is a Spore Crawler here, but it's all going to depend on how quickly we see Virus respond to what we see from Coldflame. And there's a pylon right here that he's just almost completely oblivious to. It's all about where you choose to take the 4th, guys. I mean, in this position, I want to say that would have been more than acceptable for Virus to, put his 4th down over here. And one thing that I appreciate that we see from Virus right now is he's actually going for, he went for his 4th, and he's only getting gas off of it. He's not trying to go for, minerals. He's got, I want to say, pretty okay income in the Department of Minerals. Yeah, definitely look at that. But it's a gas that he's going to need because of all the hydras that he's cranking out. Think about it, guys. They've got some of the highest DPS in the game. And now we see them actually going to put on some pressure. And Coldflame has not completely gone without, you know, accounting for this. Virus trying to A-move in here. The force fields are good. They're actually keeping these hydras from doing a whole lot of damage to the ranged units up here. But one-for-one stalkers can basically handle themselves. The Dark Shrine is finished, but what on earth is going on here? It looks like, oh boy, this was the choice defense that we see from Coldflame. Excellent choice in that, but a double Stargate follow-up as well. This looks like something that's a little reminiscent of, you know, and of course this was mopped up quite finely. So now we see the resources lost just kind of, sort of hyper-accelerated a little bit. Both sides actually, you know, sustaining heavy losses. And I want to say Protoss is in the position he should be, just as Zerg is in the position he should be as well. Wait, was there an attack here? Was there? Was there just a moment ago? I want to check the, you know, workers killed. Coldflame did get away with 5 worker kills. I want to go back for just a minute and see if that happened or not. Sorry about that. Alright, it looks like perhaps there was not. Yeah. Okay, just gotta speed it up, get it back up to speed with where we were a minute ago. And it looks like we have, you know, Coldflame essentially moving in here to take his 5th base. Excuse me, not his 5th, but 4th. I thought I saw something blink on the minimap a moment ago, so yeah, that's the whole reason why I actually hit the back button. Now we do have plenty of static defenses here, so we're gonna see Virus essentially, you know, develop himself healthily versus our Protoss here. Now here we go. Archons, sentries. Wow, Sentinels. Force fields are beautiful by the sentries, and really, I think if Virus is really starting to think, he has to pull back, basically. He tried to save what, like, some of the units that he could, or make cost-worthy exchange just now by, you know, basically double routing those, if you will, roaches, or getting them to double back and attack, essentially. Didn't work out. Looks like this drone's coming in here to try and make a 5th base, and that's how it discovered this pylon. Fortunately, I don't think we ever saw Coldflame in a position to actually do any further damage to EliteQQVirus with it. Changeling's going down as well, wants to keep very close eye on just what's happening here. +3/+3, that means we also have Hive Tech, and we have Locust, Enduring Locust being researched. Oh, and this is rather daring. Double Expo. Double Expo. Wow, what the hell is wrong with me today? Double Expo going down for Virus. I mean, this is rather daring. This is going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 base Zerg versus a 4 base Protoss. At this stage, it's actually rather acceptable. I want to say that it's, you know, it's a little different when we're talking about, say, a 3 base Protoss versus a 5 base Zerg and the engagement points that are involved. On this map, it would probably be almost no trouble. Actually, I think on this map, 3 base Protoss versus 5 base Zerg would be acceptable, but oh no, some of these Storm Hosts not quite getting into where they should be going. It looks like we got some Lings trying to make a run by happen here. And like 90% casualties were sustained for the Lings. Make that 100% now. And it looks like we actually have the main army of Coldflame kind of moving out on creep there. And that was a huge bait that we just saw going down there for Virus. But it looks like a majority of these Locusts are not actually able to reach the photon cannons there. We have a 200 Zerg. How many of that is drones? Because I don't see a lot of offensive forces here. I don't see a lot of, oh my god, 94 drones. Go figure. Well, here we go. I don't think we're going to see EliteQQVirus be able to hold his own here. Just look at the Archons right here. They're just all zooming out there. But there's no detection here presently. So basically, to kill all these Swarmhosts, we're going to see him rely on splash damage from these Archons. And it's going to work out rather dandily, I guess. Not a single observer out yet, but just as I say that, it is about to finish up. And where is he? There we go. So I'm thinking now, what we have to see from Virus is essentially him thinking of switching tech up just a little bit. Oh, he thinks he's got most of the Swarm Host, doesn't he? Okay, where is that observer? It should be arriving momentarily. Oh my god. Sweet mother of DTs. Well, I mean, that's the cheaper alternative to making Archons. But there's a lot of Archons here. You know, I mean, there's no... I want to say that versus Swarm Hosts? Versus the Great Spinewaller, Crawl of China, and Swarm Hosts, you know, I think we'll see Virus hold relatively well against this. Psionic Storm in research now, so that means, you know, we're eventually gonna see High Templars. You know, there's a difference between seeing Archons and seeing High Templars. The main army of Coldflame now moving out on creep, rather scary position. It's kind of bold once you think about how a Protoss works against the Zerg, but, you know, Broodlords are in production as well, and they're actually about to get swatted like a bunch of giant flies from the Mega Protoss army here. Are any of these guys gonna finish? I don't know. Jeez, it's a scary thought, guys. But here we go. The Broodlords are kind of finished. We're going to have the Locusts kind of tanking for them. Offensive blink by these Stalkers underneath them. And it looks like the Stalkers are going to fall, but I mean, not without a good deal of heavy losses here from Virus. Just both players not willing to yield in front of each other. Corruptor, another Broodlord in production here. I think he might have had a shift queue of some sort, but wow. DT going to work on this 5th base. If it falls, then, you know, we're going to see essentially Virus in a lot of trouble income-wise. But here we go. Hydra is trying to take down the Archons. High DPS. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Like, almost unstimmed Marines, really. Just, that is sick. Just look at it. The way it's happening. Oh my god. Those few Hydras versus that many Archons, I never would have guessed, guys. And it looks like the DT that was here a minute ago just suddenly disappeared. I'm not sure what happened to him. But did he get any worker kills out of that? Just one since we last checked, and ooh boy, this base is astoundingly close to this base. So we're inevitably going to see, you know, if we're going to see both players starve each other out economically, it's going to be kind of a dangerous game to say the very least. We have 95 workers for Virus, and the more workers you have, the less supply you have to commit towards, say, things like your army count, your actual army count. This, wow, oh my god, sweet expos. This is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 expos, and now, like, that's 6 bases altogether for our Protoss. He's going up against a 6-base Zerg. His position is just getting increasingly stronger, but finally we see the Broodlords coming into the mix, and they are finishing without any interruptions. I do need to highlight for just a moment that we did have double Stargate just a moment ago, but hello, did one of those get canceled? Did one of those get taken down? Hold up. I know I saw a double Stargate. I know I did. In production. Okay, so I guess it's just one Stargate for the time being. And, you know, Stargates would be the ideal units. I mean, the ideal infrastructure to get once your opponent starts making Broodlords, but I don't think Coldflame has quite caught on to that just yet. What on earth is compelling our Zerg to move in this direction suddenly? Oh, it's the pylons that he has spotted here in construction. Meanwhile, huge engagement going down here. The Broodlord's getting caught kind of out in the open, but the Hydras and the Roaches look like they might be able to hold their own against these Archons with the help of these Broodlords, and that is just beautiful. Look at that, look at that. We have EliteQQVirus essentially kind of holding his ground there for a few minutes, but we're gonna have to see you know, essentially the tier 1 units, the Archon, or excuse me, not the Archons, but the Zealots get thrown away. And now I'm wondering, perhaps, just perhaps, oh my god, he's so close yet so far away from this. It's like he's so close, you know, you're close to the forest. You're so close to the tree that you can't see the forest, is what the saying is. But of course, I think Coldflame is detecting this, and now he's getting ready to make a move on this base. And just as we see that happening, we have Virus getting ready to hold off. Coldflame, aggressive blink onto Coldflame's Broodlords. They're getting blinked or targeted down one at a time. The Roaches and the Hydras in perfect position to tank for them. Corruptors coming in to further reinforce, I guess. If they can just corrupt whatever's on the ground, that would, you know, increase the DPS by about 20%, or at least the damage taken by about 20%. And now there's almost no anti-air here, save for this one sentry that just fell. All the storms used up, but oh my god, the blink Stalkers coming back to reinforce. This is an unyielding Protoss, ladies and gentlemen. He's just absolutely sick. He's all over the place. He knows exactly what he's doing, and he's trying to chase down some drones. That's right, easier to save esports, ladies and gentlemen. Coldflame, this guy, I gotta find out a little bit more about his team, OG. It's not my first time casting a member of OG, but certainly my first time, to the best of my memory, casting Coldflame. But I've been, I've got like 100 videos uploaded to my YouTube channel, so I got almost 300 videos uploaded to my YouTube channel, so I really can't remember. And it's a little beyond me just how he spotted this base, but if he can take it down, it'd be great. Looks like he might not. And he's using his Broodlords to try and micro against these Stalkers. Not quite working out that well. They are, of course, slow and clumsy. And behind that, we actually have a huge Ling run by going into the main of Coldflame. Letting your guard down, that can cost you the game sometimes, guys. But, Oh, man. I think if we see the Corruptors here move into the upper rightmost position, and then, oh my god, morph to Broodlords, we'll see irreversible damage, basically. All these cannons being taken down, much of course there as well, but it's not an air-to-air unit at all. And it looks like we finally have both players, definitively going for the base trade, and, Coldflame, he's trying to go for this base, but he's like, oh wait, maybe it was a misclick, he actually meant to take another one. He was just checking to see if there's going to be a hatchery there or not. Lots and lots of spine crawlers here, but of course, no. Everything here is kind of melting in front of this Protoss army. Question is, who's going to destroy Hwam faster? That's the real question. Broodlings over here. It looks like those 3 Corruptors actually morphed into something. Broodlord over here I caught out in the open. +1 armor, +2 attack. And if we were to check the income right now, I want to say that we're going to see Virus in a relatively good position in the near future. It just really depends on how well he can maintain his army. His drones especially, if he's going to go into a full-blown base trade scenario, that's what it's all going to be about. Now we do have an Ultra coming into the mix as well. It's +5 Carapace, only +1 attack. Broodlings, oh boy, going to work on this Nexus. It looks like these Broodlings are actually targeting down that Nexus instead of actually, being concerned genuinely for themselves. My god, 1 HP Broodlord for the win. Infrastructure in the main is still good to go, but what about the tech? What about the Templar archives, things like that? What is happening to the important tech structures? Looks like some of them are being caught out in the open, and our Protoss is actually just being a little starved in the income. Oh, but not so much as our Zerg player. Yes. Just look at Virus right now. He's putting a lot of drones all on one expo, and there's no detection here. So if there was ever a time to throw down the Dark Shrine and get some DTs out, it would be now. But oh my god, that Dark Shrine was targeted down earlier, and it looks like the Twilight Council was also targeted down as well, but there's still 1 DT here. There's got to be more. There's 2 DTs. One's in the main army over here for Coldflame, and it looks like we actually have... God, wow. I don't know what to think of this. This is just... It's super exciting, guys. I can't get my voice up all day to actually, scream and yell and say, oh my god, this is so exciting! Let's look at these guys kill each other, they're at each other's throats, and so on and so forth. But of course, it's relatively true. But now we got Festers over here getting absolutely vaporized by the feedbacks of these High Templars. There's more and more to go around, but there's just so much damage to be done to these Ultras from whether it's Archons or Storms. And now the Broodlords are actually being caught out in the open, and we see, I want to say, Virus in a position in this game where he is slowly but surely losing. He's trying to morph Broodlords, but of course this is a lot of anti-air here. There's this number of Stalkers. I think we're gonna see him just basically breeze through this. I want to say the most important part of the tech tree that we could have seen Virus take out sooner would have definitely been, without a doubt, the Templar Archives, which has just now been taken down. Income is still relatively safe on this base, but what about these Stalkers? Where are they headed? Figure that out in just a moment, but right now we just have Coldflame and his psionic piranhas moving in to munch away at the meaty flesh of the hatchery here for Virus. And it looks like, here we go, Virus is, this base has basically been caught on to. These Broodlords can do something about the situation presently, but oh my god, I really want to say that he has to become all conscious and all aware of what's going on here. The base trade scenario is not working out now for Virus. It's been going the wrong way since that critical engagement where he lost all the infestors, all of the ultras, and so on and so forth. But it looks like for the time being, presently, he might be able to hold position. Just right here. He's going to need lots of spine crawlers. He'll be able to turtle up, but that's about it. All the important infrastructure being destroyed. He didn't ever remake his lair. He just lost his spawning pool, and with that, he lost his ability to make any spine crawlers. There it is, being rebuilt right now. He's totally surrounded. Just look at this. I don't think there's any surviving this, guys. Whoa, and what is this? I thought you needed a layer to actually spread creep. He doesn't have a layer, but one of his overlords is still doing it. Alright, so... Coldflame is essentially zeroing in on everything from Virus right now. It looks like these Broodlords are gonna get away with some kills, but they can't hold against everything. Evolution Chamber's going down to kind of make a Sim City, and now they just got canceled. He's trying to make a re-wall wherever he can, trying desperately to hold on in this game, but I'm thinking he's just completely oblivious to what he's up against. Look at this Protoss, guys. I mean, look at the vision that he has of his opponent. 1 base Zerg versus 4 base Protoss. This is just what he has vision of right now. Oh, and it looks like, is he attacking his hatchery on purpose, or is that an accident? Well, it could be worse. He could be MMA, right? Actually, he's trying to win this MMA style. Yeah, that was a joke, guys. It's like, oh shit, I was attacking my own hatch! What'd I do? SimCity over here. Beautiful positioning from everything. Psystorm will do nothing to these spine crawlers. Broodlords are another story. And the Void Rays are coming in, and they're what's going to finish the job. There it is. Virus essentially left the game without a GG, but, I mean, it's perfectly acceptable, I feel. He got outplayed. I don't know how else to say it. It was a really savage game. It was throat to throat at some stages, but he just, in the end, we didn't see Virus taking down the most essential tech structures that his opponent had. He just wasn't entirely situationally aware of the game. And if you just check the end game income, it was 480 minerals to 1500. There, of course, he was going to lose. So, this has been Breaker, guys. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.